Luther's Small Catechism with Explanation, the Black and Maroon edition, copyright 2017, from Concordia Publishing House. Seventh Commandment, you shall not steal. What does this mean? We should fear and love God, so that we do not take our neighbor's money or possessions, or get them in any dishonest way, but help him to improve and protect his possessions and income. Question 78 from the Seventh Commandment. Why are earthly goods, such as money and possessions, important? They are the gifts by which God provides for our own and our neighbor's needs and the enjoyment of life. See the first article of the Creed. 225, Psalm 104, 14 through 15. You cause the grass to grow for the livestock and plants for man to cultivate, that he may bring forth fruit from the earth, and wine to gladden the heart of man, oil to make his face shine, and bread to strengthen man's heart. 226, Proverbs 14:21. Whoever despises his neighbor is a sinner. Blessed is he who is generous to the poor. Read 2 Corinthians 8, 1 through 7, about the collection of money for poor Christians in Jerusalem. 2 Corinthians 8, 1 through 7. We want you to know, brothers, about the grace of God that has been given among the churches of Macedonia. For in a severe test of affliction, their abundance of joy and their extreme poverty have overflowed in a wealth of generosity on their part. For they gave according to their means, as I can testify, and beyond their means, of their own accord, begging us earnestly for the favor of taking part in the relief of the saints. And this, not as we expected, but they gave themselves first to the Lord, and then by the will of God to us. Accordingly, we urge Titus, that as he had started, so he should complete among you this act of grace. But as you excel in everything, in faith and speech, in knowledge, in all earnestness, and in our love for you, see that you excel in this act of grace also. What does this mean? Taking care of our goods that God gives us as being a steward. That's what a steward is that we are given a responsibility to take care of stuff that somebody else owns. That's what God has given. So we don't own the stuff, although we might own it for a worldly sense, like to a bank or to the nation or something like that. But ultimately, this is God's. God says, I trust you to take care of it for me and to do the things that you're supposed to do with it well, to take care of the things that you have responsibility for, and then also for the poor and for your neighbor. That's one thing of this. Also, looking out and protecting your neighbor's things. So not only are we doing stuff for our own, but also we have an eye out toward, hey, they have property, they have things, they have gifts given by God, and I am their neighbor, and I love them, and I want to take care of them. Interesting in looking at this, and especially at the time of the Reformation, this commandment leads us to understand that there is private property. There is a sense and a form of, I have something that I look after my neighbor with. My neighbor has something themselves that they look after me with. And it's not all put into a common pot. Although in some cases, like in the New Testament church, distributed for the good of the Christian church, people put kind of into a common offering pot. But it wasn't getting rid of entirely of their ownership of something. And this is important to note because there are so many people in the political realm that want to make Christians kind of a commune or socialistic or communistic. And to push it that far is too much. In fact, oftentimes those things are forced upon people, which is not good at all. But we should be in control of taking care of our neighbor. And I think that's the important part of this, is that we're not shoving this off to the government, or not shoving this off to an institution. We first and foremost take care of our neighbors. So if they have a need, we want to help them. Now, it's not bad to give to organizations and things, but that's a secondary level of things. Our first responsibility is to take care of this stuff, and we use the things that God has given us, and then we look out after our neighbor. And then if we want to look out after our neighbor in a way that we can't, like maybe giving money to a relief effort, or because there was a hurricane in some area, we can do that. That's a very generous way of supporting our neighbor and helping our neighbor out. But you see it's in the starting with us and then spreading out, not starting with the organization first and then going to us at the end. And we're kind of like a cog in a machine or something like that. And so this is the good and godly way to do this. Actually, Martin Luther and the Confessors and also other Lutheran writers, church fathers of the Lutheran Church, wrote about how good it is to be taking care of the things that God has given us and helping our neighbor.
The Lord bless your day as well as your week.